I've encountered those who believe that it's arrogant to acknowledge any strengths whatsoever, and therefore they're only allowed to acknowledge their limitations or their weaknesses or things that they feel that they don't do well. Now imagine that. I'm only allowed to talk about what I don't do well, what my limitations are. I'm not allowed to acknowledge my strengths because acknowledging my strengths might mean being arrogant or full of myself. That doesn't sound very balanced at all, does it? It actually sounds like a recipe for depression or poor self-esteem, because the only thing I'm allowed to acknowledge about myself is what isn't done well, or what I'm not good at, or what didn't work. That's creating quite the negative focus, isn't it? Then there's the opposite extreme, in which we can only acknowledge strengths, but we cannot acknowledge any kind of limitations as human beings. This might be an individual who is great at hearing praise or acknowledging strengths and things they did well, but they might be completely unable to acknowledge any kind of constructive criticism or process any kind of constructive criticism. And again, constructive criticism is not destructive criticism. Constructive criticism is the type of criticism that is designed to help us grow as human beings, to help acknowledge areas where there is room for growth so that we might continue to improve and build. It's not intended to destroy. I need to be able to acknowledge my limitations, which would be through a healthy form of some kind of constructive criticism, some sort of assessment or acknowledgement of areas in which I could use growth, need growth, or just aren't my best areas, and allowing that to be okay. But if that isn't something that I was taught, if I was not given a healthy self-esteem that allowed me to have imperfections as a human being, I will only be able to acknowledge strengths. And that really is a huge limitation in itself, because we're human beings and we cannot be perfect.